Okay, welcome in, Door Roots. Welcome in. Today I thought we should go over. Last week I think was maybe a little bit. I don't want to say aggressive, but more assertive than I would have liked. It was not a bad topic. It was just more assertive than I would have liked. So I thought today would be a great chance to kind of balance that out with a little bit of loving kindness. So we're going to talk about loving kindness today. I've got a couple of passages selected, and we'll go through them, talk about what the Buddha meant with them, and kind of use that maybe for our meditation. Like we might do circles of, you know what? We're going to do a circles of compassion meditation in addition to the loving kindness selections that we have. So that's it. Let's get into it. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami, dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami, dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi buddham saranam gacchami, tatiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami, tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Anati pata brahmani param samadhyami. Adinnadana brahmani param samadhyami. Kaisu vichachara brahmani param samadhyami. Savana brahmani param samadhyami. Wait, brain, come on. Sarameraya manya pamanattana brahmani param samadhyami. It's good that we're doing the compassion meditation because we always start out with compassion for ourselves, and maybe I need a little bit of that too. So, this will be a guided meditation. It is a visualization meditation. Those of you guys who've seen me do this one in the past, yeah, we're gonna It should be just pretty much like all the other ones that we've done. Just bear with it, and hopefully it's useful for you guys. Do you have any experience with like what we would sometimes call the moon disc meditation?
Not, no. My parents mostly.
Fair enough. Basic premise is we visualize our compassion in the shape of the moon disc because it's a nice full circle. It's perfectly round. There's no edges. It's just there, and it grows. We visualize it growing as our compassion grows as we add more layers to who we are having compassion for.
Okay.
So that's the gist of it. Ready? To begin, allow yourself to settle into the meditation. Breathe gently and slowly, but don't force it. Just allow yourself to relax into meditation. Allow yourself to settle. At this time, begin to visualize the circle that is your compassion. It's perfectly round, no edges. This circle should begin quite small. This circle or moon disc, if that's part of your tradition, should be about the size of your heart. And it should be centered right about the middle of your chest. This initial moon disc, this initial circle of compassion, represents your compassion for yourself. You know you have struggles, you know that you have imperfections, you know that you are working on it. You know your struggles and you're striving better than anyone else. Take a moment to have compassion for all those things in your life that relate to you. Now, allow the moon disc to expand. It should expand about to the edge of your ribs. As it expands, we include more people. Whereas previously, the moon disc was just your compassion for yourself. Now, with each in-breath and each out-breath, consider somebody that you have active, positive regard for. Someone you like, someone you love, maybe family, whomever. They are struggling just like you are. They have striving just like you do. They suffer just like you do. Have compassion for them. Next, allow your compassion to expand one more time. With this next expansion, we add more people. Initially, your moon disk, your compassion, your circle of compassion was yourself, and then it was yourself and those you have positive regard for. Now, your moon disk should be about to the edge of your body. We are adding now those you have no regard for, those you are completely neutral toward. Just like you, they have things that they struggle with, things that they strive for, things that they suffer. This might be the person at the bank, or somebody you drove past on the way here, or some other random person that you do not know. Just like you, they are living their lives, striving, and we can have compassion for them as they do so, even if we don't know what that struggle might be. Develop your compassion, deepen your compassion, and allow yourself to reflect on how all those beings might be struggling and how you might have compassion for them. Next comes the hard part. The moon disk is expanding one more time. As it expands this time, it includes our compassion for ourselves, those we have positive regard for, those we have neutral regard for, and now we are adding those we have active negative regard for. Those people we do not like, those people who may have hurt us, those people who may have wronged us, those people who, in some way, shape, or form, we just don't like. Whomever they may be, they are enduring struggles of their own, challenges of their own. They are striving with problems of their own. They suffer just as we do. with their own suffering, with their own problems. We must have compassion even for those we do not like. Take a moment to consider one or two of these people. Deepen your compassion as much as you can. And consider how you might be compassionate towards them. Practicing compassion for those you have negative regard for is difficult. This will be hard. For a final time, the moon disk expands. It expands as far as you can possibly make it expand. Deepen your compassion and send it every which way you possibly can. Now, your circle of compassion that is constantly expanding includes yourself, those you have positive regard for, those you are neutral toward, those you have negative regard for, and everybody else in the universe, as many beings, as many sentient beings as you possibly can. Take a moment to deepen your compassion and send it as far as you possibly can. Gently bring yourself out of meditation. If you wish, you can use a technique from our Tibetan colleagues called Tonglen. Breathe in the suffering, breathe out compassion. That one's always fairly heavy. Okay, so with our kind of extended compassion meditation, the two passages that I had selected pretty much speak for themselves. The Buddha is talking about loving kindness and what it does for us, what it does to us, how it helps us, what it, ways that it might impact us. And the two passages that I had chosen for today both come from the Samyutta Nikaya, and they are, the first one is the Buddha is talking to the monks. Well, actually, both of them, he's talking to the monks, and he's doing so to kind of help them to practice compassion and loving kindness for those around them, because it's not always easy to do so, right? So we'll hear what the Buddha has to say, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. First passage. Monks, if someone were to give away 100 pots of food as charity in the morning, at noon, and in the evening, and if someone else were to develop a mind of loving kindness, even for the time that it takes to pull a cow's udder, either in the morning, at noon, or in the evening, this would be more fruitful than the former. Therefore, monks, you should train yourselves thus. We will develop and cultivate the liberation of mind by loving kindness. Make it our vehicle, make it our basis, stabilize it, exercise ourselves in it, and fully perfect it. Thus you should train yourselves. So, lots of benefits there. Second passage. Loving kindness and right mindfulness. I will protect myself. Thus should the establishments of mindfulness be practiced. I will protect others. Thus should the establishments of mindfulness be practiced. Protecting oneself, one protects others. Protecting others, one protects oneself. And how is it, monks, that by protecting oneself, one protects others? By the pursuit, development, and cultivation of the four establishments of mindfulness. It is in such a way that by protecting oneself, one protects others. And how is it, monks, that by protecting others, one protects oneself? By patience, harmlessness, loving kindness, and sympathy. Or basically, that's the four Brahmaviharas. It is in such a way that by protecting others, one protects oneself. I will protect myself. Thus should the establishments of mindfulness be practiced. I will protect others. Thus should the establishments of mindfulness be practiced. Protecting oneself, one protects others. Protecting others, one protects oneself. So in the first passage, we have essentially the Buddha saying of loving kindness that it is of more value than probably the majority of meritorious deeds that one can do, right? That he's talking specifically in terms of, offering charity, which I have done that in the past, as we have gone to a temple, and I have actually helped with the alms giving for the monks for that day. It's a powerful experience. It's a very, very good experience. And here we have the Buddha saying, yeah, that's important, but even if you were to practice loving kindness, right, developing a mind of loving kindness, even for the time it takes to pull a cow's udder, which I don't know, I get why he would have used this for an agrarian kind of audience, they would have understood, yeah, a cow, when you're milking a cow, it's very quick. It's like, right? That's all the Buddha is saying. If you practice loving kindness, even for that small amount of time, it's of more value than all the alms that you can possibly give. It's not saying that giving alms is bad. It's not. Charity, being generous and practicing gratitude, those are huge and those are super important. But even more important is loving kindness. And don't get me wrong, loving kindness is not going to necessarily be easy. It's important because, in a lot of cases, because it's hard. It's important not because it's super simple, but because it requires us to make an effort to get over ourselves and to think about somebody else, right? To think about how our actions are impacting others and to have a certain mind that says, I care about this person. I'm going to do my best to make sure that I'm taking care of them. Which is why when he's talking in the second passage about protecting others and protecting oneself, these two things are not separate. They are both foundations of mindfulness, and they are both things that that the Buddha expects us to practice. Because the results are really, really important. By the pursuit, development, and cultivation of the four establishments of mindfulness, we protect ourselves and we protect others. And by doing this, by having by cultivating these four establishments of mindfulness through loving kindness, we practice essentially what we know as the four Brahmaviharas, the four divine abodes, right? And these would be obviously phrased a little bit differently here. Patience, harmlessness, loving kindness, and sympathy. These are kind of mirrors for the four divine abodes of compassion, loving kindness, altruistic joy, and equanimity. Right? When we can practice all of these, when we have this mind of loving kindness, when we see beyond ourselves and we see that we can care for others and we can make sure that others have the conditions necessary to grow and the conditions necessary to develop, then we are protecting them by helping them, kind of transcend where they are, and we are helping ourselves by developing that mind of loving kindness. And when we develop that mind of loving kindness, the Buddha is coming in and saying, that is so critical. If we can develop that mind of loving kindness, we move beyond ourselves, we move beyond the greed, anger, the greed, aversion, and ignorance, the three poisons, and we move into something much better, right? That's a way that we can set those aside and develop our mindfulness, and in that way we can find that liberation for ourselves through helping others, through caring about others, through working with others to make sure that everybody has, that kind of like nurturing ground to develop and to practice. And when we can help others practice and we can help ourselves practice, everybody wins. There's no downside to it. There's no downside. So, is it easy to do that? No, because it's so much easier to sit there and think about ourselves and to think about our own situation and say, well, I kind of don't want to. Because, that's kind of let's not pretend like that's not the default for most of us, most days of the week. Let's just be honest with it and say, yeah, that's probably pretty close to what we would normally do, right? So this challenges us, right? And that's why why having that loving kindness is so powerful. Why it's more powerful than having the gratitude and generosity to give alms 3 times a day, which kind of sounds odd because the monks wouldn't be eating after noon anyway. But side note. The point there is that when we can develop that loving kindness, we are kind of looking past our own tiny little bubble, and we are looking towards things that actually matter, things like helping others to practice and helping our own practice in the process. When we can do that, yes, it's kind of is kind of almost a divine state. I don't want to call it a fully divine state, but when we can do that, it gives us that ability to kind of really supercharge our practice, because we're not stuck in ourselves, and we're not stuck in the three poisons of greed, aversion, and ignorance. We are completely destroying ignorance because we're looking at what's happening to others, and saying, "Oh, this is what's going down." We're getting past the aversion of, "Oh, I don't like that person, so maybe get him out of my face," right? Which we totally have a tendency to do most of the time. Like that's pretty common. And we also get past that greed of, "Well, I want what I want. I want for me," right? So we get past those, and we can transcend that narrow bubble, that tiny little bubble that we tend to tend to find ourselves in. And we do that through loving kindness. We do that through having a mind that says, other people matter too. And I'm going to take care of them just like I'm going to take care of myself. Some might say that this is kind of like an expansive version of the golden rule. There might be merit in that. But there's a lot of merit to looking at it and saying, even so, this matters. Even so, this is a thing that will help us to be better people. So let's do it. All right. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Anatipata varamani skaparam samadhyami. Arinnadana varamani skaparam samadhyami. Thanks for watching Our Roots. We'll see you guys next time.